Hello, this is Kurt Emmerich from Emmerich Tree Farm, and I just want to give you a run through of the trees that we have this year. We're asking you guys to commit to a schedule to come and make a reservation to come cut trees here, so I want you to be able to see the trees before you do that. So we're down here at the bottom of the northwest field. Up the hill is the pavilion, all the way up to the left, and then all the way up to the right is the tree processing area. So we're going to walk on a diagonal from here through the trees to the tree processing area. All right, so let's go. So all of these are newly planted within the last 2 years, so they're coming along really nice, but none of these are for sale this year. We're looking at the 6 to 10 foot trees that we have available this year. Here's a good example, this is a 6 to 7 foot Norway spruce. We have a couple of hundred Norway spruces, different sizes. They're really nice, beautiful color, green, really dark green color. This is something we have a lot of this year, so think about that one. A little bit bigger, it's about an 8 to 9 foot. We have a lot of larger trees this year. You'll see. This is also a Norway spruce, about 8 to 9 feet. We'll keep going. It's like 6 to 7 foot Norway, which looks really nice. We have quite a few blue spruces this year. They're still a little smaller, but we sold quite a few last year. I think a bunch of them will go this year. Nice color and nice shape. This is something we have quite a bit of this year, full-size Serbian spruce. They have kind of a nice lighter color underneath. They have the swooping branches, which are nice. Yeah, these are ready this year. We have probably about 100 of them in the 7 to 8 foot range, and some a little bit larger and then some smaller ones. But Serbian spruce, it's mostly in this segment of the farm. Another nice blue, 6 footer or so, 5 to 6 foot. It's a Canaan fir. Another large Canaan. This one we haven't sheared yet. We still got a little more shearing to do, but this will shape up a little bit nicer, probably a 8 to 9 foot Canaan fir. So here's the Canaan I want to point out. Like this tree, I figured this as a 6 to 7 foot tree because it's open here. So we don't mind if you cut the bottom off for a tree that's like this, where the bottom is open, but you still get a nice tree from here up. So this is a 6 to 7 foot Canaan fir. That's how we inventoried this tree. Okay, continuing on. So some of these Norways are pretty good size. They get swooping branches as they get older, like this one here. It's a little thin on the top, but I would have inventoried this as an 8 to 9. This is similarly an 8 to 9. Again, the swooping branches are characteristic. Just as a note, only 15% of the trees in the field this year were inventoried, okay? So there's a lot of trees that are not ready to be cut, but they're getting ready for ensuing years. So just so you understand, we don't expect you to look at every tree and say that's a great tree. We only inventory trees that we feel are good shape and are healthy. Nice Canaan fir, probably might be 9-10. We did measure when we inventoried, but I believe this would be a 9 foot to 10 foot. Plenty of foliage. The foliage is really nice this year. It's really lush because of all the rain. And we're making our way now to the processing area. Again, this is probably the go-to in this section is the Norway spruce. That's probably what we have the most of. Second, maybe blue spruce. All right. Okay, we're here at the northeast field on the main part of the farm, and we're down at the bottom corner, and we're going to go straight like a diagonal across this field. This field is the most heavily cut field that we have. For some reason, people come down and hang a left, and this is where they wind up. So it's been the most heavily cut. So we're probably only inventoried about 5% of these trees. More of them are smaller. Clearly we replace every year, but this has the least amount of trees for sale, this area this year. But we'll go take a look. Come on. It's nice little canane. Hopefully that'll last another year. It's got great buds for next year. Although it's a beautiful little tree, but bottom line, it'll be much nicer next year. This Myers spruce, I've had this for 11 years. These things grow really slow. It's a beautiful tree, really good needle retention, especially for a spruce. The needles are not as sharp as like a blue spruce, but it's got that sort of blue coloring. I think it's a beautiful shape. This one was inventoried clearly, and probably in the 8 to 9 or not, probably 8 to 9 feet is how I inventoried it. But this is Myers spruce. It's a nice choice. We have quite a few in here. All right, this is a Fraser fir. A little bit thin, but it's got nice height to it. This is a perfect choice for like an apartment type of tree, or I'm not even sure if I inventoried this. This would be on the cusp. Certainly it's got, it'll finish filling in. The Frasers have all been, had some kind of damage from deer over the last couple years. Like this has an open spot in the back, okay? However, the other 3 sides of the tree are fine. So even a top grade tree is allowed to have one side that's not full. But so this would be right on the cusp of whether or not to inventory, but it's still a beautiful looking tree, and for some people it should fit the bill, but it's up to you guys. Nice blue, probably next year. We do have just a few of these Scotch pines, not committed to them, just had a few of them. Here's a Canaan fir. It's a little on the thin side, but it's that one we would have inventoried. All right, and then here's a nice 8-foot, 7 to 8 blue spruce. Here's a Canaan. We would not inventory this. The hole here, it will fill in next year. We got great bud set from this year, so this will fill out next year, so we would not have inventoried this. Again, not a lot of full-size trees in this area. Here's a white spruce. It's pretty full. Okay, it's some of these white spruces are actually a Black Hills spruce, which is a variation of a white spruce. But this tree we've had about 8 years. It's pretty slow growing. So this one's ready for this year, probably 6 to 7 or 7-8. There's a nice Canaan. It's probably an 8 to 9, okay? This is what we got in the 8 to 9 range. This is about what we inventoried. We have quite a few of them. And again, it's good foliage. Everything is happy this year because of the rain. Another white spruce. These guys like to make their shape themselves. We have done very little interference with shearing on these. We've kept them with a good central leader, etc. But this is a great example of the white spruces making their own shape. This beautiful full tree, 7-8 foot. Another canane. Really nice foliage on this one. Real nice and turgid, full of water. You'll notice on our inventory we indicate that the 6 to 7 foot trees, we didn't inventory them down to the tree because this is very common. We have tons of these 6 to 7 foot. This is the white spruce. We have quite a few of them in white spruce, and then in other areas we have a similar number, a couple hundred of them from 6 to 7 feet in the canane fir. But in this area, it's more the spruce. And another one, and we're there. So you can see this is the area of the farm that we have the least to offer this year. When you go through, you look for the taller trees if that's what you're looking for, and also you got to look on the south side. Again, a tree can have 3 good sides and still be a premium tree. And so we tell everybody, look at the tree from the south side. From the north, they're definitely thinner. All right? All right, here we are. We're now at the southeast field. If you look back up, the pavilion's all the way on that corner. So we're going to start at this corner and then go to the middle of the farm at the corner of this field. All right. So here's a white pine. We have probably 25 or so white pine that we've inventoried this year. We're still, we're still working on getting white pine right, but we have quite a few of them that are nice and tall. And again, we might have 100 out in the field. We inventoried about 20, I believe. I don't think this one was inventoried. It's a little goofy up top. This is kind of a variation on the blue spruce. It's a little bit different variety, but it's kind of cool and makes a really nice shape. Still a little small. We wouldn't have inventoried that one. There's a nice white pine. That one we would have inventoried. It's probably a 9 to 10 foot white pine. We have quite a lot of the cananes in here. This is our best soil, this area of the farm, so everything grows pretty quickly. I'm just pulling some of an old cone off of here. But this is a 6 to 7. We have just a few of these left, blue spruces. We planted these, I think, back in 2011, something like that. So this has been here quite a few years, kind of slow grower, but that's ready. Here's a canane fir. This probably 7 to 8. This could go this year or next. Nice full tree. This is our future. These guys, this is like a 4 to 5 foot, 5 to 6 foot. We're not looking to sell these, but these are beautiful bud set this year. If you have more than one bud every half an inch, that's really great bud density, and we're pretty much there with these trees, most of them. Here's one that this will be ready this year in the 6 to 7 range, or we leave it for next year. Either way. Another nice canane. Here's another, it's one of those white spruce. That's the Black Hills spruce variety of white spruce. We've planted about 500 of these all around the farm, and these are coming into their own this year. It's a nice tree. Good, strong branches. Okay, like all the spruces. There's another one, white spruce. It's one of the trials and tribulations. We've got a little die-off in here. This is happens with this species. You would leave this, we might wind up cutting it out. But that's a fungus that's hitting that tree. We'll spray it next year and the new foliage will be better. So we'll probably be okay. It's kind of a small tree. Here's a few 6 to 7 or 7 to 8 canane, 2 or 3 of them here. Nice 6-foot spruce. Here's a white spruce. Again, nice shape, good strong branches. Here's another one of those Myers spruces. This would be an 8 to 9 foot tree. Again, I've had this, I believe, 2011. We planted this tree. I've had it a long time. But they're slow growing, but they make a nice shape. So that's it. Here we are in the middle of the field. The processing area is up there, just for your reference. And then next we'll go down on this side. Okay, here we are. We're like in the middle of the crossroads in the field. Now we're going to look at this, which is the southwest section of the farm. We'll walk down this row a little bit. This probably, we probably inventoried about 15%, something like that. Maybe 12 to 15% in this section. But we'll take a look. You'll find the Norway spruce here. We have quite a few of these Serbian spruce here. They're just looking really good this year, Serbian spruce. Here's another one of the Myers spruce. Again, been here a long time. A little on the skinny side, a lot of bud set, so you know, if it lasts, I don't think I inventoried this. It's a little thin here, but next year it'll thicken up. Another nice Serbian. Usually these have a little trouble with the moisture, but it's been such a wet year, they really suck up the moisture on a wet year, so that's why they look so happy this year. It's a good choice. Little gophie, might be wreaths, not really a tree yet. And then now we're getting into the white pine. Also nice concolor fir, nice size. We have, check our inventory, but that's very accurate, especially in the larger sizes. But we would have inventoried this probably as maybe a 9 to 10. Again, we measured it when we inventoried, and that's on our list. But white pine, so lovely foliage. And the white pine, believe it or not, as delicate as this looks, you would think it drops its needles, but it's some of the best needle retention of any of the trees. Nice and light too, easy to get home, and just beautiful soft foliage. This ought to be a nice one. Put this one in your memory bank if you're looking for a nice 10-foot tree, 10 plus. I think this has got a beautiful shape. It's not out of control in terms of size, the width. This would be a lovely Christmas tree for somebody. It's got the space. Another concolor. Again, nice shape. Still have a little shearing in this section to do. The spruces I haven't gotten to, but it's a, you know, small white spruce. Here's another good one. This is my neighbors learning golf. Smaller white pines here. Here's another one, a little thin. We wouldn't have inventoried, but so again, of all these, we probably have 100 the white pine in this section, and we probably inventoried about 20. So that's it for this section. Hi, we're over on the East Hill, which is on the other side of the ponds. All the trees on the East Hill, the other side of the ponds, are firs. So if you're looking for fir and you're not quite sure, this will be a home run for you. They're definitely all fir trees. Plenty in the 7 to 8 foot range. Certainly also 6 to 7 and then 8 to 9 as well. A lot of good sized trees in here. This is typical Canaan fir. We have quite a number of the con colors. These nice blue ones here. They're looking good this year. Another nice Canaan. All the new trees we planted this year have really good bud set. Just tons of buds. These are going to be really happy. They are happy. But these are maybe 4 or 5 more years and we'll have large trees with them. That's why the way we do it, we turn the fields over pretty quickly. Here's some more concolors. Another nice concolor. It's basically what you got. Nice good sized branches. They're not as strong as a spruce branch, but these also have a really cool smell, like a tangerine smell to them. That's concolor or white fir. Some more of the Canaans. Nice shape here, nice and fat on the bottom, good 7 to 8. 8 to 9, 7 to 8. Nice, happy trees. Again, this part of the farm doesn't get quite as much sun, but it's also, because of that, a little more moisture. So it's a trade-off. So we don't get quite as robust the growth over here as facing the south, but we also don't get the stress that we get on the south-facing side. Again, more Canaan fir. Some of these have a little bit of openings. If, for example, like this one, we would be fine if you cut the tree here, okay, so that you only bring the foliage back. And some of them, they'll have to wait to fill in. This may never come back, but that's not what, we're not inventorying stuff like this. So just also up here, there's a few, maybe 4 or 5 large Korean firs. Let's go look at one. So here's a large Korean fir. Korean fir has trouble figuring out how to become a Christmas tree. So this one, we at least got a nice center leader on it pretty much, and it has what's known as exquisite foliage. It really does. It's got the flash of white underneath. If you look underneath, the flash of white. Nice turgid, sort of chunky foliage. And again, tons of buds. If this isn't cut this year, certainly more buds will make it bigger next year. Most of these got a little bit of damage from deer in 2019. We had a really tough winter where everything was covered with ice, and this was the only thing they could eat. So we're still bouncing back from that. Here's another one. I still have a little more shearing to do. These big ones are the only thing left here. But these are really nice, huge Korean fir. And in addition to the cananes, which there's plenty of nice 6 to 7 foot here. This is a good example. Nice full 6 to 7 footer. And then there's a number, if you're looking for the big conch colors, there's a number of these over here, maybe a dozen. So if you want that big conch color, come here early and come over here to the East Hill. Another nice conch color. There's 3, 4, 5 of them in there. All right, and then beyond that those trees need another year. So this is about it for what we've inventoried over here on the East Hill. Plenty of really nice cananes in the 6 to 9 foot range.